when we would play the game, I would play the music and everything and say, okay, Chris Demm's not here. We have a classic episode of Put Up or Shut Up rock and roll trivia. And the music would play and everything. And, some people, of course, don't pay that close of attention.
Yeah.
So they call and they
thinking it's time to play.
And Biggie would say, well, Chris Demm's out. They hear BB Shay. And Biggie would say, didn't you notice it's BB Shay? And they all said, well, I just assumed he was filling in for Biggie, because Biggie's the one with the health problems. Everybody said that.
I even got an email yesterday from a guy. He's like, dang, man, I sent this to BB Shay. I figured he was filling in for you.
For you, that's right.
And I'd like to point out, I've been fine since February.
He's been okay.
Since February.
He's been all right.
His blood work looked great.
He's very...
Good blood work?
He just had blood work done. You missed that. He had blood work done. Turned out to be... And, of course, we wanted to make the jokes. We wanted to say, what did they draw? Nacho cheese or syrup or hot fudge? We're not going to make those jokes. This guy's been on his feet since February.
But still, it's going to linger. And still, when I go out places, people just put their hand on my shoulder and go, how are you?
I know it's been rough.
I can't tell you how many... I love the holidays, but it's hard when you see people, family members and friends that you haven't seen in a while. And the number one question is, how's Biggie?
How's Biggie doing? How's Biggie?
I'm fine. Even my doctor said, he's like, you look pretty good. Like, your color's good.
I think you overdo that. You've said that so much, even in Chris Demm's absence. You said, my blood works. I think it's because you're so sensitive to it, because you've been put down so many times.
Absolutely.
And only hospitalized twice in 2 years.
Twice in 2 years. One was voluntary.
And that wasn't a hospital.
The intervention.
That wasn't a hospital, though.
A facility.
Well, look,
I call it a facility.
It wasn't locked out. I could leave if I wanted.
Well, you could really leave the hospital if you wanted.
True.
I mean,
I've seen people pull things out of their arms.
I watched ER.
Yeah.
You can leave if you want to.
Only one place was I actually in a bed stuck.
You're sensitive to it.
Of course I am.
It's fine.
I'm not even going to lie about it. I'm tired of everyone coming around me going, are you dying?
You don't want your blood pressure to go up, Biggie.
And you know how else you missed? We referenced my blood pressure. And by the way, Chris Demm, who's been to the doctor, said, man, I aced that blood pressure. 114 over 79.
114?
114.
I had to double check.
Perfection. I'm skyrocketing. I'm up in the 160s, 170s when I take it at home.
Yeah.
Biggie's got a new sound effect for when, like the day you were out first, he said, man, I guess your blood pressure's through the roof now, knowing that Chris Demm's out. So he did this sound. That's the cuffing of my arm. That's
the tightening of the sleeve.
The tightening of the sleeve is what that is, right?
Yeah, it's not
no
anymore. They don't do it by hand. No. Although they're still in the offices.
Yeah, they are.
Generally, like yesterday, the nurse wheeled in everything. It's all in one little cart now. But they still have the sleeve with it in the rooms.
But they do it automated.
Yeah.
So that's Biggie's. When something goes wrong, and it's gone wrong a lot here the last few days, and something happens where he thinks my blood pressure is going up, he makes the cuffy sound effect right there. Right there.
By golly, I love it.
Right. So that's
good work, Biggie.
To get you on the right page.
So now I'll know.
Since you haven't been here.
Sound effect.
That's the
blood
end.
Pressure. Got it.
Also, let me get your opinion on this. I thought this was fairly fascinating. We played the Big Money Feud game, Family Feud this week. You were there for the first one. The one of them this week, Biggie had it to steal and win the game. It was all came down to Biggie's answer, and the question was. Let me get it exactly right. Name something people are afraid is going to happen. Is that what it was? It was like, I'm getting blank. I'm worried that I'm getting blank.
I'm worried I'm getting blank.
Number one was old or wrinkles.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Okay, that's number one. The other one that we identified, and there were only 4 answers on the board, and it's like most people worried that I'm getting blank. The second one was sick. I'm getting sick.
I was going to say cancer.
Right.
Does that fall under that?
Yeah, that falls under that. So sick or old. And then the last two, they debated, and everybody gave their answers, and it came down to fat or fired. And Biggie went with fired, and it wasn't there.
That's a good answer.
I thought so too. The number 2 answer was fat. I'm worried I'm getting fat. I'm worried I'm getting sick. I'm worried I'm getting old. Number 4, by the way, was I'm worried I'm getting scammed. I'm taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Which works, of course. But then it morphed into a conversation of what percentage of people who are fired do you think have an inkling it's coming? Or are they blindsided? And I wasn't sure. At first I was like, I think 80% think they know it's coming. But the more I thought about it, the more I think
50-50?
I think it's 50-50.
I think it's,
Because people I've known in this industry who have been fired, more than half, I think, didn't really see it coming. They're like, what? And they're gone.
I only think of it if some people, if they work somewhere where you kind of have this feeling like, oh, the company's not doing great.
Right.
I don't know. I could see myself being fired to save money. But I think a lot of times people just walk in and don't realize, hey, today's your last day.
Yeah, industries have layoffs. Companies will fire people.
That's right. Yeah. Layoff. I think you see layoffs coming because you hear.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have to cut the third shift, or you have to cut half of the floor force.
I guess firing is a little different, but losing a job, either way, losing a job, it's probably 50-50, whether if you see it coming or not.
I was just shocked that it didn't even make the list.
It was
to me, because that was the first thing I thought. I thought, I bet a lot of people were worried about getting fired because you need money.
Of course.
You need a job.
And but I was surprised that he didn't go with fat because BB Shay said fat. I mean, he was the one floating.
Advocating for that one.
And he advocated, but the caller had said fired, and Biggie said those were the two I thought of, fat and fired. And then he... and then he went fired, which was wrong. But
which was going to be the name of the show.
Fat and fired.
Early.
Fat and fired. That's exactly right.
But we almost were.
Well, we were. We were fat and we were almost fired. That's true. Now we have a game. We have a real game of put up or shut up rock and roll trivia today, which I think the people will be happy with. It's a Bizarro game, so I'll be playing. And I note that I think it's the only week in history where my record for the week could be the exact same as Chris Demm. He's 1-0 for the week because he won on Monday. We didn't play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And now I could win today and equal his record, and it would be the first time ever that I would have the same and equal record as Chris Demm for the week. I'm really
so many things had to happen.
Yes, he had to be out 3 days, and the exact same 3 to the Howard Stern schedule.
Yeah.
And then I have to win the game today just to equal him. Wouldn't that be something, Biggie?
It would.
I'm really hoping for
It's
that.
like a scoregami.
It is like a scoregami.
Yeah.
Something that hasn't happened before and really is meaningless.
Never. It doesn't mean a thing. And really, why do we keep up with that scoregami? Woo!
Just fun.
See that Thursday night game last night?
Nah.
No, not a second of it.
Oh, I didn't either. But
I heard it was a good game.
The Cowboys beat the Seahawks in Dallas 41-35, and I know somebody who was at the game. Okay.
Weird flex.
Yeah.
I miss BB Shay.
Was it BB Shay?
No, it was not BB Shay. I know somebody who was in Dallas on business and is a Cowboys fan and said, I might as well take in the game.
Is this a pickle pal?
What? Jim Powell.
No.
Jim Powell.
Okay.
And he told me earlier in the week, he's like, guess who's going to be in Dallas on Thursday? Myself. And
how you getting there?
We'll be going to the game. He flew. He decided to fly to Dallas. He had meetings, and he said, but I had Thursday night free, so why not? As a Cowboys fan, I'll go to the game. And it was a great game. 41-35 Dallas last night.
Do we know where he sat?
He told me he had great seats. He was on the second level, but the front row of it at about 40 yards.
Cool.
Like the 40-yard
What's
line.
the capacity? Because that's a big stadium. Is that 80?
Yeah.
Yes. With that standing room, they have that area where it's like almost 100, but 80,000 inside the stadium. And he had never been, so he was excited to go as a Cowboys fan.
Have you seen that they have, like, when the Cowboys score at home, or anybody scores, and they go down in the end zone and they have the cameras on the field, those luxury boxes are right there, field level, right at the end zone.
That's becoming a thing. That's giant at the at SoFi where the Rams and play. That's you see tons of celebrities down getting these field level seats.
It's like courtside.
Yeah,
I think Dallas started that stadium because don't some people even pay to stand there while the team walks through and will like slap your hand.
Yeah.
They're out there milling around with the team before the game. It's amazing.
I'll tell you. Speaking of BB Shay and our Demm missing days, I'm a little disappointed in our coworkers' reactions to Demm coming back.
What do you mean? How do
You don't
me?
You don't know this, but I texted BB Shay separately
to tell him not to
come in.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this says about spending time with you,
me,
right? Both of us combined.
Yeah.
But BB Shay, when I said, "Don't worry, Demm's here," he sent back the "What up?" throwing hands up celebration.
I don't have to be here,
and thank God.
The raise the roof, if you will.
Yeah. That's. I'm not surprised by it. I'm not too surprised by that.
And then I said, "I'll see you for the rap," and nothing
through. Yeah, he's doing the rap today. Yeah.
So,
and then he went. BB Shay has silenced his.
Yeah, that's what you get, the little moon or whatever.
Moon.
That's right. Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's one. Okay. And then Dave sent me a message. He said, "Is he there?" I said, yes, thank God he's here. He's well. And Dave said, "I'm coming in at my normal time."
Right. That sounds. And
that was it.
That sounds.
I want to see him as little as possible.
Yes, and I had a few.
I don't think it's you. I think it's
us. Some sales folks texted me and said, What's wrong? What is happening with Chris Demm? My God. And I was like, I don't know. He's got rib issues. And they were like, get him back in there. Whatever you do, pull him back in there.
Well, here I mean, I appreciate the phone calls and the messages and the emails and the texts and all that. And you guys, all of you asked how I was doing. And it was a rough week. I mean, it was a rough week. It's not, there's no way to even describe what I had. I saw my doctor yesterday. My doctor said, I'm out.
He's stumped.
Yeah, and for the last 2 months, I've been seeing an orthopedic therapist, and he's like, "I got nothing."
Really?
Yeah, he treated me for 2 different things, and he's like, "I got nothing." He released me. I've been released.
What a what a feeling! Did you see a 1986 episode of The Golden Girls where that happened to B. Arthur's?
Let me stop you right there.
I think I see why BB Shay and Dave are glad to be
spending minimal time.
I need to get this and stream this over to you.
Okay.
B. Arthur's character has something like pain, tiredness all the time. Doesn't know what it is. Every doctor she goes to.
Was it her prostate?
Is that what you said?
That's a joke.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah,
that's inappropriate. She went to every doctor, and they'd say, "I'm stumped. I don't know," and they would just be like, "He's getting old and tired." Well,
and she's younger than me, right?
Yeah.
During the show,
during the show, she's done.
The actor is younger than I am.
Oh yeah. And they would say to her, "Nah, you just old. You just tired. Don't worry about it." And she went to specialists.
You got tired blood,
right? Finally, one of them said, "Oh, you have," and it was something that's now a thing. Chronic fatigue syndrome is what she had, which never really was a thing. Now is.
Some writer heard about it and wrote a plot about it.
The writer had it. The writer of the episode had it and wrote about it. I did a deep dive on this Golden Girls episode. You can imagine.
One of many.
Yeah. And at the end of the episode, after she's been diagnosed, she's like, yes, I still feel bad, but at least they know I have something. It has a name, damn it. You know, she was really into that. And she saw one of the doctors who said to her, "It's in your mind. You're old. What do you want?" They were celebrating at a really nice dinner, and the waiter said, "What are you celebrating?" And they said, "She's sick."
Well, now
she's got a syndrome.
This must have been a very special episode.
It was a three-parter.
A three-parter.
And what's wrong with Dorothy?
Yeah, right.
Now, I didn't watch the program, but since you said this was set in 1986,
yes,
in Florida,
yes,
was the prescription cocaine?
Yes, and by the way, worked like a charm.
Oh,
she was in the rest of that show. She didn't even leave the show early. She was all the way through. She saw one of the doctors who had told her, "Oh yeah, it's in your mind. You're just old. Don't worry about it." And she walked across that restaurant proudly to him and said, "You made me feel like less than a human." And she said, "And you're a son of a bitch." And then she went back. The crowd were like, "Yeah." But you don't have that satisfaction yet. You don't have a diagnosis yet.
No. So there's some more tests to come, and then maybe a specialist. I mean, my doctor's like, I don't know what it is.
One in the world.
But, again, she checked heart and lungs and all the other stuff yesterday, so they seem to be okay. And as you heard, my blood pressure is exemplary. So thank God it's not that.
At least it's not.
Yeah.
Thank God. That's the one thing you don't want.
That's the one thing.
High blood pressure. I've got a lot of emails about that. You're a walking time bomb. That's what they're saying is the problem.
Let me tell you who plays the doctor on our very special episode with Chris Demm. Chris Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's fine. It's in his head. It's just a made-up thing in his head.
That's right. He doesn't know.
He needs to get in here and walk it off.
He's cotton soft.
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. Come on. Rusty has sent a pep talk for the day, but 2 versions of it because, of course, he doesn't know. One with one. First Friday of the last month of the year, the only question, do we get 4 hours or 4 minutes of BB Shay? I know what I'm hoping for. He said, I know what I'm hoping for. We can only hope that Chris Demm is well enough to be quizmaster for today's Bizarro Put Up or Shut Up Rock and Roll trivia game and not out for the 4th day in a row. We do not want to hear the words, we've got a lineup change this morning. No one wants to hear that. Word on the street is that Chris Demm's body is finally giving out from 25 years of carrying you. Okay, fair enough. Yep, that too, possibly. Yeah, right. Perhaps some NBA-style load management for next year. Probably. Maybe.
Why not?
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
Why not?
Give him the day off. So whether Chris Demm can drag that broken-down body in or not, Chris Kelly, your routine has been thrown off this week. It's been terrible. Don't let it affect your game. Instead of some inspirational words, start December off right and play your wife's favorite Christmas song, Merry Christmas from the Family. No time. He says, if you don't have time, I understand. No time.
No.
Yeah,
Later, we'll kick it down the road and we'll play.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play it later today.
I like that. That's a good way to kick off
the Christmas season.
Yeah.
It's the Christmas.